them for the little VIP sign-in there for the Fall Out Boy show. So if you got any shots to take, now would be the time to take them, William.
What shots? I like to take shots of Mary when she's here.
I know.
I call her a dumb fat bitch to her face.
Oh, man. That went hard.
I know.
Right?
I just kind of got into a thing.
You surprised yourself with that one.
I don't know. Yeah. But you know what? She started it.
She did. And
I ended it.
You have to understand the terrain in which you're deployed in those situations.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes Bill takes big swings.
Tomorrow, of course, there'll be a brand new Poundcake sports break. Is there a Poundcake podcast coming?
No, not this week.
All right.
Probably won't be one till August for sure. For real.
August.
And Dustin's losing his mind right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
If no one else, you're doing the show for Dustin. Because the last thing you want, quite frankly, is indifference. Right? You want someone like Dustin.
I mean,
He's like, yeah, man, that sucks. I don't know what you're doing.
Well,
that's what you want.
Much
right?
like a lot of the scripted programming on TV right now, I have 100+ reruns that you can listen to.
This guy,
I have 100+
he's got
episodes.
an angle for everything, doesn't
Just
he?
saying, there's plenty of good.
But if they already listened to all of them.
What have they already listened to? I mean, people watch television episodes they've seen already.
Think about the real early Poundcake podcast where I didn't
Not
really
even
know.
worth listening to.
Yes, they are.
Not even worth listening to.
Oh, yeah.
The raw authenticity.
Cancel me from something I said on an old podcast. It's great.
Right? Hold on. I had to finish my gummy worm.
Yeah, that's
Episode
what you get from the early, just him eating
Episode 7.
on the microphone.
Fireside chat.
Fireside.
Oh, and I do. Well, actually, I don't know.
I took a big old swaller out of it, and I was like, uh-oh.
I'm cheating you guys because there's part 1 and part 2. So it's technically that's one episode. So I'm cheating you guys of an episode.
Oh, my, I've sprung a leak. Oh, man, I'm a pervert.
You're scamming us out of something, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying because I put episode 1, part 1.
Part 1,
then
yeah.
episode 2, part 2. And
Wait, what? The last one you did was a cliffhanger? Is that what you're trying to say?
No. This was, I forget, I have to go back to the page and see which episode it was. But they're Fireside Chat part 1, and then there's Fireside Chat part 2.
And why do you call it a fireside chat?
Because I think that was like the first episode I had done on my own. And I was like, just think of it as like a fireside chat, if you will.
But you're not next to a fire.
Yes, it was.
Oh, you were?
We had a fireplace.
But you were doing it next to the fire.
There was a fire in the fireplace?
No, but I'm going to say it for dramatic effect.
So it was a fireplace side chat.
Yeah.
Do you know what the fireside chat's reference?
The president used to give the fireside chat. It was FDR, right?
Good job.
You nailed it, yes.
I'm really good at history.
All right, now who's Oppenheimer?
Yeah, he goes, I told you I'm really good at history. He thought Oppenheimer was one of the banana splits.
He was the father of the atomic bomb.
Yeah, because we told you that five different times.
Don't ask me tomorrow because I won't know.
All right.
But it's sunk in for
And
right
which
now.
president was FDR?
Frederick Delano Roosevelt?
Say it again.
Frederick Delano Roosevelt.
Wait, I was looking for the number. I want to know if you had memorized the numbers.
Oh, I don't.
Well, what's his name again?
Frederick.
Nope.
Wait, no. Wait, what's the name?
It's not Frederick?
Yes, go. Just
Keep going,
what's the
Frederick.
name?
Yeah, Frederick.
Delno.
I'm sorry?
Delno.
Delno?
Delnor?
You tell me.
Frederick Delano Roosevelt.
Frederick Delano Roosevelt. Boy, you are good with history.
All I know is he was elected 4 times. And 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 20 years? He was president for 20 years?
No,
No?
that's not the right math.
Okay. 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, he's 16 years. Okay. Sorry. I skipped 8.
And what was his name again?
Frederick Delano Roosevelt.
No, he was president for 12 years, over 10 years. But what's his name again? Just one more time for posterity, for the people in the cheap seats.
Frederick Delano Roosevelt?
Frederick Delano Roosevelt.
Now I gotta look up. Now after I said it, and
You're thinking of Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
oh, it's not Frederick.
Frederick Delano Roosevelt. He's like, see, I am good at history.
Oh, see, I was thinking
Yeah.
I was confusing him with Frederick Douglass.
Oh, yeah, because Frederick Douglass looks very similar to Franklin
I didn't say
Delano
that, but
Roosevelt.
just the names, it was getting
Uh-huh. Right. Frederick Douglass was the guy that Trump thought was still alive, right?
I think.
Remember that? Yeah, people like Frederick Douglass out there making noise. All right. I do like Frederick. And here's the problem. We have so many conversations with Poundcake that occasionally off the air, I'll find myself second guessing because Poundcake's information will have somehow wormed itself into my brain. And so I am terrified I'm going to be in a conversation with someone. Now, again, I can't envision a casual conversation where Roosevelt would come up, but I could hear myself going, Frederick Delano Roosevelt.
I mean, I thought his
And
last...
people going, what?
I
And
thought
I go,
his-
oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was channeling Poundcake there for a second.
It was on this show where I found out his middle name was Delano, not I always thought it was Delano.
Like Poundcake said.
Something like
Well,
that.
I changed it 2 times because you got.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was getting the Franklin and the Frederick wrong. I thought it was the Delno. I was like, what type of name is Delno, anyways? Of course, I'm gonna
Wasn't it just his
mispronounce
mother's maiden name? That's what I assumed.
I didn't have no idea.
Yeah, it was his mother. Yeah, it was his mother's maiden name. His father's second wife, Sarah Ann Delano.
I just know he didn't stand for the national anthem.
Why did we change the election laws after him? Like, why can't people get elected 4 times?
Because I think they were like, that's too long.
But it worked for him, so why can't
It
we?
worked for him, but they didn't want that forever. I'm sure it had something to do with the war, too, because he got reelected, but then the country went into a huge recession. So part of it was, you're gonna blame somebody when things go south, and you're not necessarily going to give them credit when things go well. So, and there were a lot of people that didn't like the New Deal, and so he's been the only president to serve more than 2 terms. But it wasn't going to stay that way. But Bill's right. He never stood for the national anthem.
Not never.
He could barely.
Just
Well,
eventually he stopped standing.
He stopped
for it.
standing. That's right.
Why is that, Poundcake? Do you know why?
He had polio, right? And his kids would help him. I remember I watched a documentary on him. He had,
And you got his name wrong?
again. I was
He
mistaken
thought it
him
was
with
Frederick
Doug-
Delano Roosevelt, and he watched a documentary on him. I've never even watched a documentary on Roosevelt.
I think this was in school or something, and probably one of my political classes. His kids, I think he had twin boys, or like his older sons would be on either side of him, and he would kind of gesture and embrace them. But in reality, they were helping him walk. They were hoisting him up.
Yeah. Well, they'd put him on. That was
Weekend at Bernie's and
that was also back when the press. What people think that the press is in the pocket of government now, and in some ways it is. But back then, that was when the press wouldn't talk about, Roosevelt being infirmed or anything like that. They'd put him on the caboose of a train and put a blanket over his lap, and nobody thought anything about it.
he couldn't be. Of course he's healthy. He's got a blanket on his lap.
Yeah, that guy's always cold.
Yeah, you see the blanket across his lap. That means it's fine.
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Roosevelt, they were like, yeah, we don't want, how about, let's keep it to 2 terms. But who knows what would have happened with Frederick Delano Roosevelt.
Think about all the stuff I got almost right. I was so intelligent. If it wasn't for that one name,
I'd be
mispronouncing
so
it.
intelligent if I didn't get it wrong.
I was so right, but so wrong.
A little from column A and a little from column B. I would be so smart if I knew more stuff.
It's amazing how the brain does stuff. It's cool.
Gesundheit. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? So, anywho, yeah, the FDR, they go, no more. And then they changed it. It was kind of like today, it was like one party got control of the House again, and they go, yeah, we're going to get rid of this. Well, I get rid of it, but the 22nd Amendment said you can't serve more than 2 terms. So like today, when, one party gets control of the House, they try to enact what they want to enact. And back then it was like, we want to get some people in there that we like. So once the Republicans got control of the House, they were like, yup, no more 4-termers, homie. But you were very close. So close. We have a lot of bureau chiefs in the beautiful city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, the AA. And they have, now this is no shock that they listed the least and most intellectual cities in the United States. The most, obviously, they're all college towns. Ann Arbor and Berkeley and Madison, Wisconsin and Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the most educated cities because they're places where people hang out. They either work at a university or they study there or they hang out after they've graduated, as opposed to a lot of cities in California and Texas where they don't have a nearby university to benefit from the population nearby. So something to consider, Cody, you know, as you embark potentially on your career, don't sleep on places like Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's a beautiful town. Go blue. What? No? But you've been to Ann Arbor.
I've never been to Ann Arbor.
Oh, well then what are you whining? Why are you making your whale noise over Ann Arbor?
Just driving through Michigan, I'm like, you know, it's like Ohio, but worse. So
It's like Ohio, but better, you mean?
Yeah, legal weed.
Michigan's beautiful. You get farther north, they got all the lakes and the colors. Oh, my God, come on. Why do you think everybody in Ohio is like, we're going up north? They don't mean they're taking a submarine into Lake Erie. Yes, of course.
There's like a big gay destination up there. I saw a bunch of like my Instagram gays, like friends that I'm, people that I'm friends with that are gay, and they're like at this one place up near, I think it's by Grand Rapids, Saugatuck. There's like
Saugatuck is one. Traverse City is another one.
It's like a big gay destination, and they go there they have a bunch of resorts, and it's like a mini like province town.
Well, they heard Tuck, and they were like, this might be for us.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And so apparently I'm talking my boyfriend into going there for like.
But I mean, both my older kids go to Michigan State, and East Lansing is a great area for that too. But again, college towns are going to be much more. There's no college in Saugatuck, but I mean,
it's the beach. Like people go there for the beach.
Well, there are a lot of small towns on beaches that have nothing to do with being gay-friendly communities. They're not, you know. But get yourself there and have a good time. Why not? You've been to Ferndale.
No, I didn't get a chance to go.
Huh?
I didn't get a chance to go to Ferndale.
I thought you guys stayed in Ferndale.
No, we stayed in Warren.
Oh, Warren,
We
right.
stayed in Warren. We heard Ferndale was the gay district. We went in the opposite direction on accident to go to that.
Neither of you could read a map?
We didn't know it was a gay. We didn't know till after.
Yeah.
We went to like the one gay club that was like an actual club where you go to dance. There was like drag queens upstairs
In Ferndale.
and then drag queens downstairs that was like doing their shows.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then after they got done with their shows, they're like, now we can open up the dance floor. I'm like, great. And so we partied to like 1:30, and then we had to get an Uber back.
1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Having a good time. Oh, there you go. Get yourselves to Saugatuck and South Haven, Traverse City. Of course, Traverse City is where we're talking about that salon where the lady put a sign up saying any trans customers, I'm not going to serve you. And that's her right, but it's not a good long-term business plan, by the way. The Electric Six from Detroit, Michigan. Well, listen, you can't you can't have it all. We didn't show up on the most intellectual cities in the United States, but that's not for lack of trying. But we did show up on the list of the cities with the worst drivers.
Ooh.
So that's something. I
Did
mean,
you see that?
A guy today cut me off.
that's
I was
something.
pissed.
Did
Huh?
you see the guy that drove his motorcycle into wet cement? It was on
No.
It was on the I'm from Cleveland page like a couple weeks ago.
I did see the Funny Bus, though, made I'm from Cleveland.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was- yeah. Some dude jumped out and said,
Brian
yeah,
got a guy
yeah,
dancing, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Sternick's going with me to see Oppenheimer tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
There you go. Well, that'll be fun. But no, I did not see him get stuck in wet cement. He missed
Yeah.
all the signs. It sounds like a Dukes of Hazzard episode.
Yeah, he
where,
just
like,
he tried to drive around construction and he ended up on wet cement.
Dude, I'm
Mm.
telling you
It
what,
was a few weeks ago, so you might have to dig back a little bit, but it's pretty funny.
I was real annoyed with the construction out front of this building because I go the same route every day. I get off at Ontario and then I turn right on Prospect, and they were like road closed, and it said to like local road. Or
Why didn't you come down 9th? Just pull on the
because
Prospect.
I didn't know that there was construction there, and here I was thinking that
Been there for like a week.
this was when it first started.
Ah.
Yeah,
Like-
I had that same problem.
Like when there's roads closed, like you think, okay, well, clearly it's not closed to everyone. It's like the people who work there and the people who live there can still go on the road. I'm not going through. I'm turning into a parking garage. I tried to tell
I
the
like
dude-
when there's no advance signs.
Mhm.
You just get there and there's a sign. You can't go any further. You're like, everybody's turning around. You're like, good work, guys.
I was so aggravated because the dude was like, no, turn around. I'm like, the parking garage is literally 10 feet. You
I
can't-"
know.
I was like, it's right there. He's like, no, turn around. I'm like, so you want me to turn around in downtown Cleveland that could take 5 to 10 minutes going around the block? I was so frustrated. So I was like, you know what? Fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn around.
I will
I'm pissed.
do what you say.
I'm just gonna
but
turn
I'm going
around.
to be sassy about it.
Did you put it in park, get out and kick dirt on his shoes, and then
No.
get back in your car?
He made matters worse because he was like, watch where you're going too. He backed up. He was like, there's a cone right there. Watch it. I'm like, dude, you don't tell me I got a backup camera. Like,
Wow. Why get so aggravated?
because I was mad.
I understand,
know what the
but
signs-
you just turn around.
He said, read the sign. I said, I did read the sign. I said it to local traffic, to through traffic. I was
He's
like,
like,
I'm not
you're
through.
local but you're local traffic.
It said to through traffic. And I'm like, I'm not through traffic. I'm turning. I'm literally, you're making me go like a quarter of a mile to go 10 feet.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, someone could come through and plow you. And he was like, I'm not going to let that happen. Like,
He doesn't want
He's like,
anybody
if-
plowing
you're
you.
doing
If
your
you just
job.
got out of the way, you would have been in no problem. He's the one causing more problems.
Yeah.
I was like, if he wasn't there, I totally would have been. Like, I would have floored him.
The first day I got away with it, and then the next day,
Because
because you're just on autopilot when you're driving to work. You're like, and then
I was like, you don't
I've been
think
coming
to go
down
around?
9th since, but like, hurry up.
But I want to think
There's
that, and
traffic.
that's how much of a rule follower I am. Because I wanted to be like, where were you yesterday? Because I totally went in this way. And I looked out for cars, and it was
So
no
you were
big
going
deal.
east on Prospect, and he wouldn't let you turn left into the garage. is what you're
Correct.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, because it like people were going down the street, and it said road closed, but it's only, I thought it was closed both ways. I was like, so no matter which way you go, there's going to be a man flagging whatever, and it wasn't that much traffic. I'm like, come on, let me go 10 feet.
I sent you this motorcycle, dude.
Who went into the wet cement?
Yeah, that's a bad day.
Well, let me get the.
It's all over your motor. It's all over your shoes,
Yeah.
everything. What happens when like the exhaust gets clogged? Then what?
I mean, you gotta fix it. You
Yeah,
gotta
you got
clear
all
it
kinds of
out.
problems.
But like, does it shut off your motor, or is that dangerous?
Yeah. Yeah, that's like why they'll like the whole putting bananas in tailpipes, right? That we learned that from Axel
Beverly
Foley.
Hills
Yeah.
Cop. We put no banana in a tailpipe. Well, this isn't.
I don't know if that
coming to
actually
me, but-
works.
Yeah, this isn't coming to me, but
Oh,
everything around here today has been very, very slow, and I
Mhm.
don't know why. They were doing some software updates or something. I was reading about a girl in Dubai who got thrown in jail because she yelled because women don't have any rights over there, and so just yelling was enough
We gotta
to get her
Mary
arrested.
over there to her people.
enough to get her arrested. Well, that's when Poundcake talks about, it's all these people, Dubai, that part of the world, like, really presents itself as this tourist paradise because they've built it up where obviously they want tourism dollars, but the laws don't change. And so you really got to know chapter and verse, man, of everything you can and can't do when you're going to go to a place like that around the world. And this girl was just yelling at somebody, and they arrested her and put her in jail. And so now she's trying to figure out what she's going to... A
The
trucker,
Karen law.
a Houston, Texas trucker turned TikTok influencer has been in a Dubai jail for 2 months because she screamed in public. They were in a rental car, and they had an accident. They were on vacation, in Dubai. And this is what I'm saying. They draw you in because everybody looks like, oh my God, it's this beautiful, gleaming metropolis. But the local laws don't, especially if you're a woman. Especially if you're a woman. When an employee at the rental car company became aggressive with her, she yelled back. She's a 29-year-old girl from Houston. She yelled back. They took her passport and they put her in jail. They showed her surveillance video of her raising her voice, and that was all they needed. So, you know, Poundcake, you want to go over there and have a high old time. You just got to know about every little thing you can and can't do.
I'm not going to be ignorant about it.
Don't be ignorant.
But how I look at it is most of the world is homophobic. Most of the world. Jamaica's homophobic. I went to
that's
Jamaica.
different. That's different than the law, though.
That is
You can
on
handle
law
people
that-
giving you the skunk eye, but
I think it's probably a law in Jamaica for sodomy or something like that. I'm sure it's on the books. But am I not
wait,
going to
it's a law? What's a law?
like
Oh, you mean anti-sodomy laws?
Allah.
anti-sodomy?
Dear
Yeah.
God.
It's a jala.
But
Yeah, they do have anti-sodomy laws in Jamaica.
yeah. So
But that didn't stop you.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
The privacy of his own room.
most of the world is like that. Am I not going to travel to Egypt and see the pyramids because they're homophobic? I want to go to Russia, not because I like their politics, but I like geography. I like history, and there's a lot of history there. I want to go to China. I want to go to Japan. Japan is actually pretty gay-friendly, but still, there's other places around the globe that I would like to visit, and I don't want to be – I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm gay.
No,
I'm
I
there
understand, but I
for-
mean, you talk about Dubai a lot. I mean, I don't even think I would have thought that a woman would get thrown in jail for yelling.
I feel like the resorts are like safe zones. Like you're not allowed to drink in UAE, period. But hotels and resorts,
Well, find out.
they are. I've like looked at YouTube videos, so the YouTube videos aren't lying to me. There was like a YouTube video where literally there's like the most femme gay ever. He's like, so I went to Dubai for spring break and I'm just documenting my experience. And he's like, so alcohol's not legal here, but in the resorts, it's a safe zone. And so if good enough for him, good enough for me.
Yeah.
He was by
But
himself.
you never know
too.
what kind of surveillance these places have either. They come knock on your door. We saw your TikTok video.
Well, also,
Please come with us.
I do have to take into account the fact that I'm black, and I'm black wherever I go. And so if they're already racist, like they might not even hate me because I'm gay. They're like, if you're a white and gay, you have no problem. But
Not true. If you go to Africa, certain parts, they're going to be like, oh, you're white.
yeah.
Curtis Cook's got a great bit about it.
Well, yeah, I'm not black enough for the black. I'm not white enough for the white. So I'm going to be hated wherever I go, essentially. So I might as well.
I didn't say they hate you. They just be like, no, we're black. You're not.
But they would look at me as an abomination because not only am I emulating their culture, now
You mean Dubomination. Anyway, I've got to take a break. If you want to get the last word
heard
in, send me a text 35